Hi, I'm Ravi Best. I'm a trumpet player who's been living here in New York for about 20 years now, playing with a lot of different great musicians here, such as the Duke Ellington Orchestra, the Count Basie Band. I've also worked with great R&B and pop artists such as Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin, Jay-Z and Beyonce, and more recently had the great opportunity to play in the house band on Saturday Night Live. So what I want to talk to you today about is our foundation as musicians and instrumentalists, primarily trumpet players, trombonists, and even woodwind players such as saxophonists, flautists, and clarinetists. I want to talk about our posture and how that affects our playing. That's because our foundation is the most important thing we have when we start playing. And I notice a lot of young players don't really consider that. You know, we think the instrument is what makes the music, but actually, when you think about it, our body is connected to our instrument. And this is where the music all begins. So let's talk about that, our posture. If I'm talking to you as I am now, you notice I'm standing straight and upright because I want you to be able to hear my voice. And you can hear that I'm very relaxed. And why is that? That's because I'm standing straight, I'm standing tall. And that posture allows me to take a very comfortable breath so that I can speak to you. So musicians, we are really, if you think about it, like athletes. So myself, I happen to be a baseball fan and a boxing fan. So I take my cues from those athletes. If you ever watch a baseball player, when he steps up to the plate to hit the ball, he doesn't just walk up and hunch over and grab his bat in any way. No, they come up to the plate very serious and make sure they have a strong posture that they have so that they can have the greatest rate of success to hopefully hit that home run. Same with boxers. The great Muhammad Ali, if you ever watch boxers, or Mike Tyson, they don't just come in anyway. No, they're in the fight. They know that they have to have a stance and a posture by which they can move their body and they can breathe and be very relaxed so that they can hopefully knock their opponent out and have the greatest amount of success. So that too is what we want. We want to have the greatest amount of success so we can tell our story through our instrument. So let's talk about that. What does it mean to have a really good posture? So we can start out in a couple of ways. One, let's talk about our legs and our feet. When I'm in a standing position such as this, my feet are going to be about the length of my shoulders here. They're not going to be too far wide, and they're not going to be side by side, very close. That's going to create tension in the body. And tension, if I'm very tense, if I put tension in my voice right now, I can barely talk. And we don't want that. We want to be relaxed. So standing, we will have our feet at about a shoulder length position. There, that way, that's the bottom of our foundation, like a house. Then, moving up from there, let's talk about our knees for a minute. We do not want to lock our knees and make them tight. That as well creates tension in the body, locking our knees. And if you've ever gotten really nervous before a concert or during a concert, and locking your knees and trying to play, some of you may have noticed you can get a little lightheaded. So we want to stay very relaxed. Okay? Now next, let's even talk about our hips. I'm sure many of you have probably never considered how do my hips play into this as well. We don't want our hips to be tight, clenching everything. We want that too to be relaxed. So, with our knees in our hips, we can bend our knees a little bit so that we can relax. It's very important. And then our hips, We can even bend forward a little bit. That helps to open the hips and relaxes the body even more, which helps us eventually to take in a great relaxed breath. And being a wind player, that is really vital to what we do. But also, even if I were a bass player, these things would apply as well, because we all want to be relaxed and eliminate as much tension in the body. From there, once I've established that lower foundation of the body, of the feet being parallel to my hips, of my knees being bent and my hips being open, that allows me to take a nice big breath so that I can play and tell the story I'm trying to tell. Now, I'll show you. If I'm tight, if I tighten all of my body, I will tighten my knees, tighten my hips, tighten my chest, and even my arms here. It's very hard for me to take a breath. It's hard to breathe. But if I relax those things and I try to be light on my feet, as Muhammad Ali used to say, float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to be loose and relaxed so that when I go to take my breath, I can be relaxed and take that nice big breath that I need to play just about anything I need to play. One thing I want to note also, when talking about our feet, make sure while they are aligned with your shoulders, we don't want them to be splayed. We don't want them out or in. We want them facing straight forward. And that gives us perfect alignment with the body. So as long as you have that strong foundation, that your back is straight, knees are bent when standing, feet are aligned with your hips, this is our stance for playing our instrument. This is going to give us the proper alignment that we need. And then from there, whether you're a saxophonist or a flautist, a trumpet player or a trombonist, from there, you'll be able to have that high rate of success that we want to have when playing our instruments.